everybody. Um, just to follow up with yesterday to talk about the journey. So I met with the oncologist today, and in spite of, I tried to write everything down, but honestly, it was so much said. Like, they are absolutely right when they say it's a lot. It is so much that you hear and say. And, yesterday I told y'all they gave me the report of the findings. And even when I tried to read over this myself, it was just way too much. But anyway, what was discussed today, I met with the oncologist. He is going to generate his own report. And what I did learn today is there are two different types of cancer. He called them out, but he called them by their medical name. And I think it's HER2 and HER1, maybe. That part I'm not really clear on. I just tried to absorb as much as I could because it was a lot. But anyway, like I told you yesterday, the surgeon who functions based on what the oncologist says to do. So in my situation, and everybody's situation is different, my situation, the cancer that I have is very aggressive. And so as a result, he doesn't want to stall or waste time. So he wants to go ahead and do the chemo first, rather than the removing of the breast. So the plan of action now is to have the port put into my chest next week. And the schedulers are supposed to take care of getting the dates set and call me back. And then chemo starts the week after. He was very clear that he would, in his words, throw the kitchen sink at it. Everything in the kitchen sink. Because of the cancer's aggressiveness. One factor that he felt like I had on my side was the fact that I am so young. He felt pretty sure that what I have is genetic cancer cells because I am so young. It's not normal for females to have cancer at this age, although possible, but it also means that when you're this age, you are more susceptible to other variations of cancer or to breast cancer returning. So he wants to be pretty aggressive with the treatment. Initially they thought 16 weeks, but today he mentioned 20. The plan is to leave the breast on because the cancer now will serve as a baseline. So teachers, we all know about a good baseline, don't we? We love that word. But for those of you that don't know, the baseline means like a marker or a starting point of where the cancer is and how it's behaving. So they want to keep the breast on to monitor if the chemo is working. So it serves as a means of measure now. The other thing that he did explain today is cancer, and the best way I could liken it to is like the solar system. He did mention that by the time you see cancer, it's probably too late. It's probably massively spread and it's already done its damage. Cancer is usually a very small, like a millimeter of a fraction of a thing to see. And thus, by the time we as people get a mass, it has already done a lot. It has already did way too much. And so as a result, because I have 3 masses, he wants the chemo to be pretty strong, pretty heavy. He did assure me that I'm about to lose my hair. He did assure me that I would be down the majority of the time because of the amount of chemo and the amount of time that I would be doing the chemo. What else did he say? He said so much. So the mastectomy, the double mastectomy, is a choice that I'm choosing because of the genetic piece. The prayer is that the breast will serve as a means of measure, and I will start the chemo, and in a few weeks after several treatments, the mass will have shrunk, and that's what he's looking for. And the MRI should show that there is no cancer anywhere else in the body. If the mass is shrinking, they still remove the breast, just because cancer can be undetectable to a certain amount of millimeter or whatever, whatever measurement it is. So the chemo for me will go first, and then hopefully when I get to surgery to take the breast off, there will be none detected, but they will still take them off as a precaution / preventative because of the genetic piece. If that, I know that's a lot to take in, because oh my gosh, like gee whiz. So that's what we got today, guys, and that's enough, right? So I will keep chronicling for the journal. I really don't have answers for you guys. I really, at this point, I'm legit overwhelmed, like WTF. I don't have any answers. I don't. I know a lot of people have texted me today, and I just don't know, y'all. I don't have no answers. I don't have no answers. I don't have any responses. I don't have a word that I could say to you. I have no understanding. I am walking in a cloud right now. And that's okay. It's okay. I think, we got to just one day at a time, this thing. I did file my FMLA papers. I did file intermittent FMLA. I did touch bases with the Human Resources Department for now. The understanding that I took away is I will use, I'll use my sick days first, and then that will roll me into short-term disability. And should Metro covers short-term disability for 90 days. And then after 90 days, the long-term disability should kick in. And I think teachers just have a base amount of your pay. I'm not really for sure it's the whole thing. That's the thing I need clarity on. So that is what I'm working on. I did get a journal so that I could try to write down everything that was said. But I mean, when they talk, it's legit, like way too much. But they do have a portal. The good thing about Vanderbilt is they have a portal, like a website where you set up so you can go in there and read your documents, your scans, all of that. And you are able to email your team, your doctors. So I didn't get a chance to do that today because honestly, when he said what he said, I just didn't know. Shit, I thought it was time to go. I needed to go on back to work and try to wrap my head around the mere fact that the body can mutate and do such shit. So I just needed to go and have peace with that before I even try to delve into something else. It's too much. It's just too much. He did advise me to cancel my dental appointment because, okay, oh, and let me say this. I love y'all and I appreciate all your calls and prayers and text messages and whatnot. But chemo breaks down the immune system really, really bad, and you're more susceptible to infections and diseases and colds and all of that can spiral into something else that can make you sick. So when chemo starts, just know that I will be locking my front door and ain't nobody coming in. Love y'all, but don't come over here because I don't need your cooties. My body won't be able to fight it. Thank you. With that being said, I don't really know how this is going to work because as a school teacher, all kids are is germs. Great. So I don't know. My original plan was to have chemo on Friday and be sick over the weekend and go back to work on Monday and try it again. But now I'm really having to rethink how that works because your immune system is really, really low and you can't afford to get a cold. You can't afford to get sick. You can't have nobody breathing all in your face. So my second plan is to see how well I respond to the chemo for the first, I guess, couple of rounds. And then I'll go from there. 20 weeks, we're looking at like 5 or 6 months. So it's August, September, October, November, December, January. So we're looking at January, maybe February, before it's all said and done. So that's what we got, y'all. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I left out. I did do the lab work, but then I have to go to the genetic testing facility. So that's an appointment that's on the books. Let me get my book out. Let me look at here and see. He canceled my dental appointment because he doesn't want me to do anything that could puncture my skin or cause me to bleed and possibly get an infection. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I went and had, some of you might know already, I went and had the screws put in. I don't know if you can see that. So I can have my implants done. And so the implants are going to be on hold to after chemo. But the screws are in there and they've healed well. I'm going to try to go out there maybe Monday, because the stitches have to come out. I still have the stitches in it and they have to be taken out. What I learned is during this chemo, you can't have birth control, like IUDs. I think it's what it's called. I don't know. I have a Mirena. Okay, there go to TMI. My bad. So anyway, you can't have that kind of stuff because of the chemo. So I have to go. I have a separate appointment to go to the doctor Monday to take that out so that it doesn't interfere with the chemo. I think that's all I have for that. Let me see. I think that's it, y'all. If I think of something else, I'll just leave some little notes in there in the comment section. But anyway, just to share with you all the journey for today. Today was a trying blow. I didn't want to hear that I got 2 different types of cancer. I didn't want to hear that the cancer is aggressive. And I most certainly didn't want to hear that I got to take the strongest chemo, longest chemo he could give me. But it is what it is. And I have not told Jason. So you all, please, if you see my child, please do not send him into panic. Right now, he knows I have cancer. He knows I have to go through chemo. He knows I'm going to lose my hair. And he knows I'm going to be all right. And that's all his little mind needs to know. And it will cross those other bridges if they come. One of the risks for having chemo is it drops your white blood count. And mine is already low. So I really can't afford to be sick. I can't afford to have any kind of germs or whatever. Because if your white blood counts get so low, it sends you into leukemia, and that's a whole different kind of fight. And that prolongs all the other stuff that you just went through. So they're going to heavily monitor my temperature, and every time I go back for chemo, they will monitor my white blood count. If that gets too low, we got a different problem. So Dr. Park, y'all pray for him that the Lord gives him vision and strength and knowledge to handle whatever God wants him to do with me, for me, to take care of me. Dr. Gower, she is the surgeon. She's very, very sweet little lady. So just pray for those doctors in that facility, that they will do everything that is known to man to be able to do to save my life, to be able to take care of me and get me back on my way where I'm going. So I think that's all. Anyway, y'all have a good night. Keep praying, keep pushing, keep believing, keep trusting. I don't know. I think, let me say this. I think he was like kind of worried that, I think he was waiting on me to fall apart because he said I was going to lose my hair. And I already knew that. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with losing my hair. I'm okay with losing my breast. I'm okay with a lot of things. But my prayer is that God will show him something different. I really want to see something happen miraculous for me. So keep me in your prayers. Y'all have a good night. Ladies, if you are 40 years old, go get your mammogram. Please go. Take care of yourselves. It's me, I'm always the runner. I'm up at the crack of dawn, and I'm up when the sun go down and hide behind the moon. I'm up working, I'm moving, I'm busy. And I think this was an amazing way for God to say, look here, go sit down, like I said. So I'm going to sit down, honey. Hey, you ain't got to tell me twice.